In 1971, a group of normal college students volunteered for a simple experiment. Within 6 days, it became so disturbing that it had to be shut down. What you're about to see isn't a horror movie script. It's a documented psychological study that took place in the heart of Stanford University. It was meant to last 2 weeks. It didn't even make it to a week. How does a good person become a monster? Is evil something we are born with? Or is it just a uniform away? Today on EDITH Mind, we go inside the basement of Jordan Hall to witness the collapse of the human soul. Dr. Philip Zimbardo wanted to know, is the brutality in prisons caused by the personality of the guards or the environment itself? He screened 75 applicants and picked the 24 most stable, middle-class, normal students. No criminal records, no history of violence, just ordinary kids. A simple flip of a coin. Half became prisoners, half became guards. At that moment, they were equals, but by the next morning, that reality would be shattered. Zimbardo went for total immersion. He had real Palo Alto police arrest the students at their homes. They were stripped naked, deloused, and given numbers instead of names. The psychology check. This is called de-individualization. When you take away someone's name and give them a number, you take away their humanity. You aren't John anymore. You are number 8612. The guards were given one rule: maintain order, but they were given no training. Within 24 hours, something shifted. The silver sunglasses were key. They provided an invisible mask. Day 2. The prisoners rebelled. They ripped off their numbers and barricaded themselves in the cells. The guards saw this as a personal threat. Their response? Not dialogue, not protocol, psychological warfare. They used fire extinguishers to spray cold CO2 at the prisoners. They stripped them naked again. They took away their beds. They created a privileged cell to turn the prisoners against each other. One guard, nicknamed John Wayne for his extreme brutality, started imitating a southern accent and became a master of humiliation. He wasn't told to be cruel. He chose to be. Less than 36 hours in, prisoner number 8612 began to suffer an acute emotional disturbance. Uncontrollable crying, disorganized thinking, rage. At first, Zimbardo, who had mistakenly cast himself as the prison superintendent, thought he was faking. He had lost his own objective mind. He was no longer a scientist. He was a prison warden. When number 8612 was finally released, the guards told the other prisoners, "You cannot leave. The experiment is real life now." This created learned helplessness. The prisoners began to act like zombies. They stopped fighting. They just accepted the abuse. This is where our previous study on the criminal mind connects. The guards weren't psychopaths by birth, but the power of the situation created a temporary lack of conscience. In a state of total power, the empathy centers of the brain can shut down. When you see the other as a subhuman, your amygdala stops firing. The guards began to enjoy the suffering. They made prisoners perform sexualized humiliations and stay awake for hours. Even the good guards didn't stop the bad ones. This is the bystander effect inside a prison. Their silence was just as deadly as the batons. On the 5th night, Zimbardo's girlfriend, a fellow psychologist named Christina Maslach, visited the jail. She saw young men being marched with bags over their heads, being screamed at by guards. She was the only one who had the courage to say, "This is wrong. These are boys, not prisoners." Zimbardo snapped out of his trance. Out of the 50-plus outsiders who had seen the prison, she was the only one who questioned its morality. What did we learn? We learned that under the right conditions, anyone can become a monster. The line between good and evil is not a wall. It's a thin, fragile thread. Zimbardo's conclusion was terrifying. It's not the bad apples that are the problem. It's the bad barrel. The environment has the power to override your character. Today, the Stanford Prison Experiment is a warning. It reminds us that our conscience is a muscle that must be guarded. Because if you give a normal human a mask and a baton, you might not like who looks back at you in the mirror. Was it science or was it a crime? You decide. If you want to dive deeper into the dark corners of human intelligence, subscribe to EDITH Mind. Stay aware, stay intelligent,